Hi, the objective of this training video is to train you on the web-based data entry for the Every Dealer Survey portal. This video is primarily meant for distributors, for RDA sales executives, for the sales managers, sales officers, and anyone else who wants to basically get trained on the Every Dealer Survey web portal. Before the survey starts, your sales manager or someone from the local office will primarily be sending you the URL, user ID, passwords for the web portal. What we have done is we have created 10 user IDs per RDS. What you need to do at your end is, as an RDS, you need to assign one user ID per sales executive that you have. Just in case you have more than 10 sales executives and the 10 user ID passwords shared by your sales manager are not enough, what you can do is take an approval from your SM or SO and contact the support desk. They will help you in opening the additional user IDs that you want. Let me brief you on how the data entry is going to happen. The Every Dealer Survey is primarily being done for three sets of dealers. The major chunk are the build dealers. Now, build dealers are typically dealers who are buying stocks from you on a regular basis, and they have been buying this in the last couple of months. So the data entry for the build dealers is supposed to be done from the mobile app, from the EDS mobile app. The data entry into the EDS mobile app is a separate video, and I would request you to go through the EDS app video to get trained on the data entry part through the app. Typically from the web, you need to enter the data for your unbilled dealers and for any new dealers. Now, what are unbilled dealers? Unbilled dealers are those dealers who were buying stock from you, Microsoft stock from you, till about a couple of months back, but they have not bought stock from you in the last few months. And new dealers are dealers who are either new or they have not been buying Microsoft stock and they have still been dealing in other companies. So they've been selling mobile phones, but they don't sell Microsoft mobile phones. So these are typically new dealers. Let's go to the web portal and have a look at how the data entry happens. What you also need to remember is the user ID password that your sales manager is going to pass on to you is going to be the user ID and the password which is supposed to be used for the EDS web portal, the Every Dealer Survey web portal, as well as for the mobile app. So the user and ID and password are the same for both. So as a distributor, once you have distributed the usernames and passwords, the sales executive, if I'm a sales executive, I need to remember that the same user ID and password I'm going to use for my app and the same one for the web portal. Okay, so let's click on the URL. This is the home page of the URL. It will ask you for your username and the password. So let me type a username. Basically what we have tried to do is we have used the SAP code of the RDS to create the usernames. So I'll type the password and I'll click on login. Before I hit the login button, you can see there is a helpline number over here and the service window that is there. So in case you guys face any problem, you can call this helpline number. And now let me log in. You can see now there are two tabs on your website. One is for the data entry of the unbilled outlets and the other one is for the creation of the new outlets. Let's start with unbilled outlets. Some of our distributors serve not just the GT outlets, but they also service ROT outlets. Now, depending on the outlet type you want to select, you can press this radio button over here and it will show you the outlets in that respective channel. So let's assume that I want to do data entry for a GT outlet. There are two ways to find an outlet. You can either double click here and you will get a list of all the outlets which are present. And then if it is a longer list, you can start typing. So for example, if I want to search for Sachdeva Electronics and it's a long list, I can just type for SAC and you can see that the drop down smartly takes me to that particular outlet. So I'll click on Sachdeva Electronic Works. Now, if Sachdeva Electronic Works is an outlet which was existing in the past and now it is no longer existing, if it is a shutdown outlet, then what I need to do is I need not go to the data entry part. I can just click on this outlet is shut down button. Now, as soon as I click on this shutdown button, all the further fields are actually grayed out. You need not enter them. And what you need to do is go directly to the submit button and then click on submit. You will get the message that the outlet data has been saved successfully. Any submission that you do, you need to remember that it will go to your sales manager for approval. We will come back to that part once again later. So I have successfully submitted the data for this particular outlet. Now let me look for another outlet, and my next outlet is mobile hub. So I'll type MOB and click on mobile hub. Now, the first time the sales executive logs into his web URL, only for the first time, the application will ask him what is the RDS executive name. So for example, when I logged in the first time, I entered the executive name as Vishal. From the second time onwards, when you log in, this is a pre-populated field. You need not enter it once again. So basically the RDS SE name field has to be entered only for the first time data entry when you are entering the data for the first outlet. The outlet owner's name field, basically here you need to enter the name of the owner of the shop, Mobile Hub and Electronic Center. So let's assume that the name of the RDS owner is Irfan Khan and I entered the name. And the next field is the outlet owner's mobile number. And here I need to enter a 10-digit mobile number. Then you need to enter the alternate mobile number. This is not a mandatory field, so you may choose to enter or you may choose to go to the next field. The next is outlet owner's email address. So let me enter an email address. The next field is an alternate email address, and Irfan has an alternate email address. The next one is the state. Now for an RDS, so there are two good parts. One is that when you log in as an RDS, the state that you get to see here is only the state in which your RDS belongs. So for example, this particular RDS, which is AG Telecom, belongs to the state Delhi. So what I get in my drop down is only Delhi. This data is basically something which we have picked from the 2011 census. And so you need to, once you click on the state Delhi, all the districts under Delhi will get opened. So for example, there is a district called as Northwest, and this particular outlet falls in this district Northwest. The next tab is the sub-district, tehsil or the taluka. It's called by different names in different states. And this outlet falls, for example, in the taluka Narela. So now I will enter the data for the town under Narela, and let's assume that the outlet name, the town name is Katewara. So I'll start typing KAT. As soon as I press KAT, it automatically smartly takes me to Katewara. I'll select Katewara, and the next field is the pin code. So let me enter a pin code. The next field is the address of the dealer. And okay, so let me type an address. Once I have done that, I need to tick on the privacy policy. When I click on the privacy policy statement opens. I need to read the privacy policy, close it. You then need to tick on the privacy policy and submit the data. You can choose to clear the data in case the data entry is wrong. And what I'll do is I'll submit the data over here. The outlet data is saved successfully, and this will again go to my sales manager for his approval. Similarly, if you want to enter data for some outlet which is an ROT, you can click on the ROT tab and double click on the outlet name tab. All the outlets under ROT will appear. The key account executives who are going to enter the data for NOT, you need to remember that this is the tab you need to click, and all your national OT outlets will appear in this tab. What we have also done is that when a particular RDS enters into this particular field, all the outlets only for that RDS are going to be visible. So you will not get to see the outlets for any other RDS or for that state, for example. It's only an individual RDS outlet names that are going to appear over here. So this is about entering data for unbilled outlets, which are basically outlets which were buying stock from you in the past, but they are no longer buying stocks from you. As an RDS, what you need to remember is you need to complete the data entry for all the outlets that are there under you during the every dealer survey period. Now let's go to the next tab, which is for new outlets. In new outlets, what you need to first select is whether you want to create a new GT outlet or you want to create a new OT outlet. Let's assume that we are creating a GT outlet. Now the tab over here is a data entry tab, and it's different from the unbilled outlet tab. In the unbilled outlet tab, the outlet names were predefined. In this particular tab, since it's a new outlet, you need to enter the name of the outlet. So let's assume that we are creating a new outlet called as New Delhi Stores, and the outlet owner's name is Samir. And let me try to enter the mobile number. Now, on purpose, I have made a mistake and tried to start my mobile number from a 6. just to check whether the application accepts this mobile number. And at the same point of time, I am typing an erroneous mobile number in my alternate mobile number. What I'll also try to do is try to enter the mail IDs, select a state for this outlet. I have selected the district, sub-district, taluka, tehsil. And I'm trying to enter some dummy address. Now let me try to see if I press on submit. So it will first give me an error saying that the mobile number has to be 10 digits. So the first one that I have entered is 11 digit number. Let me try to delete that and try to re-enter. So it says the number is still not a 10 digit number. Okay, let me try to now enter a relevant number and something which starts from either a 9, 8 or a 7. Similarly, for the next one, let me try to add another digit to make it 10 digits, and it will keep on giving me that, oh, it's an erroneous number. Let me change it again. Now both these numbers are correct. So it will tell me you are not entered the privacy policy. I need to read the privacy policy. Click on the privacy policy button and then press submit. So the outlet data is saved successfully. All the data entries that you do during the day goes to your sales manager as an email once in a day, as an email for approval. So let's have a look at the sample email format, and I'll go to my Outlook and show you an email which I will receive as a sales manager or a sales officer. So for example, if you have a look at this particular email that I have received, it's a system generated email which I will get every day as a sales manager or a sales officer. It will list down the outlets which are present for me and which are lying for my approval. What I need to do is click on the click here link and either approve or reject an outlet. So let me click on KC Mobile Communication. When I do that, the data entry page for KC Mobile Communication will open and it will show me all the data that is being filled for KC Mobile. As a sales manager, what I need to do is either approve, I need to go through, so primarily I need to go through all the values, check if they are correct, and if I find it to be correct, I need to either approve it, or if I find any mistake, I need to reject it. So let us approve this particular outlet. Once the sales manager is approved, the data is then saved. Similarly, let's go to another. So let's click another outlet. So let me try to take Guru Kripa Mobile. So Guru Kripa Mobile is an outlet which the sales executive has said that it's an outlet which is shut down. Since it's a shutdown outlet, there is no data that is visible. There is no data that is captured. Now, as a sales manager, I can either select to reject the store or approve it. If I approve it, this outlet will be taken as an outlet which is shut down. As a sales manager, I know that, oh, this Guru Kripa mobile store is actually open. This is a store which is doing business, and it seems that the sales executive has erroneously marked it as shut down. what I need to do is put the comments, put the reason why I am rejecting this. So for example, I put a comment saying this outlet is still open. Please ensure you do data entry for this store. The remark for rejection is a compulsory field. So if you are rejecting, you need to enter a remark so that the RDS comes to know why you are rejecting it. So as a sales manager, it's necessary that you fill in a proper remark. If there is a particular field which he has entered wrongly, you can actually indicate saying that so and so field is not filled correctly, and then click on the reject button. Once the sales manager rejects, there are two actions that will happen. And what are the two actions? The two actions are the RDS will first receive a rejection email. So let me show you a sample of a rejection email. So if I am AG Telecom, I am the RDS, I will receive a rejection email something like this. So it will tell me for which outlet the rejection has happened by my SM, and then what is the reason for rejection. So for example, for this particular outlet, the remark from the sales manager is value selected is not correct. This outlet does more business. Resubmit please. Now, once the sales manager has rejected an outlet, what will happen is the outlet will again appear in the data entry screen in the drop down of the unbilled outlet. Now, what we need to also remember is the sales manager will receive basically outlet approvals for three type of outlets all in one mail. Now, what are the three type of outlets? It could be either an unbilled store which has been entered from an app. It could be a new outlet which is entered from an app. I'm sorry. So it could be unbilled outlet entered from the web, or it could be a new outlet entered from the web, or it could be a store which is a billed outlet and is entered from the app. So depending on where you have entered the data, the outlet will reappear once again for data entry. So for example, if the RDS had entered data for an unbilled outlet and the sales manager has rejected it, then that particular store will reappear in your unbilled outlet list once again in the drop down. If you select that store, it will also show you the earlier values that you had filled in before the rejection happened. Okay, same is the case with the billed store. Billed store, if the sales manager is rejecting, the billed store will go to the app. So in the app, once again it will start coming in the drop down, and the sales executive needs to re-enter the data for that. Once he has re-entered, done the correction and re-entered the data, it again follows the same process, which means it will again come for the sales manager's approval. And once the sales manager has approved, it will get saved in the application. So typically, this is how the data submission needs to be done for the unbilled outlets and the new outlets in the web portal. Once you have finished your data entry for the day, you can click on the logout button and then you will be logged out from the application. That's all from my end, guys. Thank you so much.